To do this virtually and not in real life. The coronavirus has got in our way. Lisa's been doing a fantastic job, I think, with you guys while I've been overseas. And now, because I am back, I'm in quarantine. And I think the decision to cancel these last two classes is fair enough, because there was more of you that basically said that you didn't want to come than wanted to come. So, well, I'm going to try and I'll be editing this and sending it out to you guys via email. I'm putting it up on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, never used it too much. And so I'm going to do it on YouTube so that you have got access to it, because some of you are not Facebook users. My initial thought was to do it on as just a Facebook video, which can be a little bit easier for me to make. But I'm getting together with all this tech stuff, not good at it. So week 5, what do we do in week 5? Well, recall is one of our focuses in week 5. The recall is usually paramount to most pet dog owners. They are well aware that they want a good recall. Some people are well aware that they haven't got one currently, and that's sometimes part of the reason that you've come to class in the first place, is to get a good recall. Recall, come when they're called, whatever you like to talk, to say. We all want a dog to come when they are called. Now, when you've trained this to a very high degree with lots of distractions and lots of different environments, you can get a fairly good reliability. But even then, I would never probably say that I would get 100%. No way would I get 100% from my dogs all the time. So it's a bit unrealistic to expect a dog to recall 100% of the time. We hope to get a high percentage. Now, the higher percentage recall success you're going to get is going to be a bit dependent upon how much training and practice you've done with your dogs and how much distraction training. Of course, in different situations, dogs have got different challenges. Some, especially terriers, yeah, they're pretty tough. They have got a high instinct to want to go and chase and get and maybe even kill other prey animals that are out there. Kangaroos, your possums, goodness knows what, they will want to go and get it, the bush turkeys, the magpies, whatever. So if you've got your dog out on a walk with no lead on, which we shouldn't do, no lead on, and your dog has got way ahead of you, and then something rustles in ahead of them, they're probably going to be off like a shot, and you're going to try and recall them, and they're just going to look at you and say, ha, nah, no way, I am on this, I am going to get that bush turkey, I don't care what. It's tough. It's tough to get a good recall in this situation. So initially, we want to practice, first of all, getting our dogs to come to us. So positive reinforcement, we call, they get to us, we reward highly with good value food. It's the quickest and best way to actually reward your dog. Yes, you can give them a pat, but it's a bit like saying, yeah, that was job well done, but no big deal. It is a big deal. They've just come to you. We want to make it a big deal. So give them something highly rewarding. Practice, practice, practice. Do this with no distractions, with very few distractions, and then building your distractions. So what I mean by distractions, when you're at home, you can have distractions like if you've got kids can be playing a ball game in the yard with you while you've got your dog out there. You can be away from your dog and make sure that you've got treats on you. Call your dog, be enthusiastic. When they get to you, highly reward. Do it a couple of times, but don't overdo it. Then you want to set up real practices when you're outside, and long lines is where we're going to go with that. Now I've got a little bit of video that I'm going to show you about a long line. So I'm not going to talk too much about using long lines. That'll come on the video shortly. So practice, practice, practice. That's what you want to do. All right, so the other thing then we talk about tonight is increasing your proficiency. What does that mean? Well, by now you can get your dogs to sit, you can get your dogs to do a hand touch, you have been doing stays, and you've been doing leave it, and you've been doing drop or lie down. Your cue is your cue. I don't mind what you're using. So what we're trying to think about now is increasing that proficiency. How quickly does the dog do it when you say? Do you need to use your hand cue, or can you just use a verbal? It's not so easy just to get verbals. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a video where you're going to see my dog Shadow and Millie, and they have their different challenges, as you're probably already aware. So I'm going to show you a bit of a video later of me doing some sits and drops, hand touches. Um, Now, yeah, they are, Shadow in particular, are very proficient at doing these things. So with you guys, it's hard to show you a dog where they're not doing it because I don't necessarily have that dog. However, so what I want to talk about here also is the discrimination. The dog has got to discriminate between what it is that you want. So I want you to practice a few sits in a row, and then practice a few drops in a row, and then practice a few hand touches in a row. Then you're going to use all three of those behaviours in a fairly quick succession. So you're going to do, say, a sit, maybe then followed by a drop, then followed by a hand touch. Now, if your dog is already doing those things pretty quickly, then you don't have to now reward every single one of them. However, if they do it really, really good, really quickly, and you're very impressed with that particular repetition, you may choose then to reward that one that you saw. What we want them to start to do is to be able to distinguish between your hand cues and or your verbal, um, with the sit, the drop, and the touch, so that they are listening. Not only are they listening, they're understanding and they're following through with what it is that you are asking them to do. That's discrimination. That's working out from their point of view what it is that you're wanting them to do. It's not easy for a dog to do that. We tend to mumble way too many words. So make it simple. Don't mumble too many other words. When you're saying sit, that is just the only word you're going to be saying, sit, etc., etc. Anyway, it'll come a bit more clearer on the video itself, so I'm not going to talk too much long about that. I also want to talk about moving a little bit away from using food rewards. Food rewards are excellent. I want you to continue using them. But we do also need to think about broadening this out to be using other things. Now we can use a bit what we call pre-Mac principle. Don't worry about the word too much. You can look it up on Google. There's plenty of writing about pre-Mac principle. Basically, grandma's rule. So if you've got kids, you're probably already using this. Well, if you eat your whole meal and all your green vegetables there that I know you're not particularly keen on, you will get your dessert, or you will get maybe one square of chocolate afterwards. Pre-Mac principle. So we are going to use this bit with our dogs. So you're inside the house and you have been working on your computer, whatever, we're all in isolation, we're all doing different things. And you think, oh, no, it's time to go out with the dog. Let's go and, I don't know, go wander around your yard, maybe go for a little bit of a walk, whatever. You are going to get up and the dogs are going to follow you and they're going to go towards the door, leads or no leads. Let's say you're going without, just to do a little bit of a walk around your own yard, no leads. So you walk to your door, and your dogs are going to want to go out that door. We can use this opportunity. We can ask them for a sit, maybe a drop, maybe a hand touch, all three, maybe just one. But you can get 1, 2, or 3 behaviours before you then open the door for them to go out. They want to go out. It's exciting. We want to go out and explore the yard. We haven't seen it for 10 minutes, maybe 2 hours. So pre-Mac principle, start using a bit of that. When you know that your dog wants to do something, get a behaviour in prior to that something that you know they actually want. That's called pre-Mac. Also, start secretly hiding little pots of food around your house, even your yard. Yeah, we do have to be a bit careful. Possums can, be pretty destructive on containers. So but you can have them around. You can have food in your pockets constantly. Now, we might not need to use our chicken or a bit of roast beef or whatever, because it's going to be pretty yucky in our pockets, but you can use some dried food in your pockets. Be a little bit random. You're in the garage next to your car. Well, see if you can get a sit from your dog. See if you can get a drop from your dog. See if you can get a couple of hand touches. You're practicing these things. Maybe you could even do practice a stay. Don't overdo things. Don't sit there for 10 minutes doing a training session, 20 seconds. It doesn't matter. But you're going to try and get these behaviours in all over the house and yard. So the other thing that I want to talk about before I put the videos on the end of this is intermittent schedule of reward. Okay, so technically what that is that we're going to stop giving a piece of food reward for every behaviour that they do, and we're now going to put it onto an intermittent schedule of reward. So say we're doing a session, this is a training session, we've got our treats ready, we've selected what we're going to do in our own heads, we know we're going to practice we're going to start with doing some hand touches, some sits, some drops, and then we're going to work on some stays, or we might be working on some leave-its. So we've got that plan in our head, or you can write it down. It's good to write these things down, but okay. I know you're probably not going to do that. But okay, in your head, you've worked out what you're going to do. Now, an intermittent schedule reward simply means you're not going to reward every time the dog sits. You might reward every fifth one, every third one, every 10th one. It doesn't matter. We do need, preferably, to keep it random, unless you are working on maybe loose lead walking. But we're not going to talk about that now. I'll do another video on that separately, I think. So, intermittent schedule reward. Think about it. Think about mentally work out, yes, I'm going to give a treat this time, or I'm not going to give a treat that time. So start to think a little bit about intermittent schedule of reward. Okay, great. I am going to put the video of the outside long line work, and I'm going to put the video of increasing the proficiency randomly going through 3-4 behaviours. Okay, great. Now, if anybody has got anything that they would like to teach their dogs, I am really willing to do another little video on that and get it out to you guys. But otherwise, yeah, please watch this. Please continue practicing. This is week 5. We will do a real week 5 as well. But then you're going to be great. You're going to be advanced. You'll be ready for the intermediate group by the time we've all finished with all of this. Okay, great. So happy to do some more videos. Let me know what it is you want. Okay, over and out.
Okay, hi. Well, I'm outside of my house fenced yard in still my property. I just want to talk about recalls, getting your dog to come back to you. Week 5, now we can't go to have class because of this virus. Anyway, we can do a little bit on the video. So I want to talk about recalls. We've talked about recalls already. We've practiced some recalls. I'm hoping you are practicing at home to get your dogs to come to you at home. Now I want to talk to you about long lines. This here is a long line. Now this isn't a very long line. It's only 4.5 meters long. You can get ones that are around about 11 meters long. You could get a rope. You could go down to Bunnings and buy yourself a simple rope. You could attach a few leads together. Anyhow you wish. Mozzies are a pest. Anyhow you wish to create a tether for your dog that you're going to attach to their collar or their harness when you're outside of your property. Now, when your own properties, you don't need to do this because you can have them off lead and they're safe. But say you're going to take them down to a soccer field, you're going to take them down to a big green open space, then you don't want to be practicing this before you know that your dog is going to be coming back. You want to be making sure that you've got them on a line. So this is the long line. Now I'm going to do a little bit of practice, show you outside here in my own yard at the moment. So I'm going to attach it to my dogs, then I'm going to have to pick up the camera there and show you what I'm doing. Okay, who's first, guys? Okay, how are we doing? Okay, shut up. Good boy. Okay, off you go. Give me dog. Okay. dog. Shadow, come. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, baby dog. Shadow, come. Shadow, come. Yay, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Hello, Millie. Hello, Millie. Good boy. Okay, there's Shadow. Off you go. And Millie. Come here. Wow. Okay, good dog. Millie, come. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, good dog. Hey, Millie, come. Good girl. Good girl. Good boy. Good boy. Good girl. Okay. Okay, Shadow. Okay, Shadow, come. All right, now first of all, we're going to go through maybe just some sits. Sit. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Now, if your dog is going to stay in the sit, you could also relocate them by just throwing a treat to make them move, really. If you're at home, it's easy to do. Right? Go get it. Come. Sit. Good boy. No, I meant him to catch that one. Sit. Good boy. Okay, so we've worked on sit. Maybe you've done 5 or 6 of those. Now you're going to work on the drop. So you're going to get your dog to you. Now you're still probably at the stage where you need to put them in a sit, drop. So now you can see with him is that he drops on the word alone. But you guys are probably still on the stage where you're using your hand signal. Okay, so we're going to get him back into a drop, so we need to repeat this. So you're going to be doing your hand signal. If you want to increase the ability for them to do it with word alone, say the word, drop. Now, more than likely your dogs, they won't do it. You put your hand signal in and then you reward the drop. Reward down on the floor in the position that you want them to be. Okay, now let's say you are a little bit more advanced and that your dog is going down really, really quickly and then you've practiced, say, 5 or 6 of those. Then maybe you're going to practice a few hand touches. So, touch, good boy, touch, good boy, touch, touch, and do some high ones and some low ones. Now you can reward every single one, or you can maybe reward every 3rd or 4th one. Now we're going to get a few more treats in my hand. So I'm ready. Now he's just working for biscuits because, well, he'll work for biscuits, he'll work for anything. Now we're going to go through all 3 of those behaviours. We've got 3 for a reason, is because he can't guess very easily on 3 because he's got to choose from one of 3. So now we're going to randomly work through all of those behaviours in a different order. Drop. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Yes. Touch. Now as you can see, I worked those 3. Now I'm going to do it in a different order. Touch. Drop. Sit. Good boy. So he's got to work out what it is that he has got to do. Drop. Touch. Drop. Touch. Sit. So you don't have to do it as in all 3 in a row. You could be doing 2 repeats of 1. Okay, give that a go at home. Well done. Okay, I wanted to also talk about increasing the distractions whilst you're doing things and doing things a little bit differently, like we might sit in a chair whilst getting them to do their stuff. Sit. Boy. Drop. Boy. Touch. Good boy. So can you do it whilst sitting in a chair? Can I lie down? Or maybe even squat or whatever. Drop. Good boy. Touch. Touch. Good boy. You just made a mistake there. Sit. No, that's not sit, is it? Sit. Yes. Good boy. Drop. Good boy. I didn't want the flat. He's confusing. The reason he was doing that was because we have another behaviour called flat. Drop, go flat. That's flat. So you can just see how you've got to realise that when you are doing certain things a little bit differently, your dog sees you differently and they might misread your hand signals for something else. In my case, he has a lot of different behaviours that he does, and therefore he's easily misreading what I was doing there as a flat behaviour and not what it was that I was asking him to do. So, distractions. This is doing it in different ways. Him looking at me from a different angle. The other distractions are physical distractions, like we do have a cat over there, by the way, but that's one distraction. Can you sit? Can you drop? Good boy. So can you still do things? Sit, drop. Whilst I'm doing other crazy things. Maybe I'm throwing toys around. Maybe I'm flinging them around. Can you sit? Good boy. Can you drop? Oh, that's a distraction. There's Millie barking outside. Now that's a distraction. All right. And now you're such a good boy for not running out the door. And we're not going to do any more right now. All right. Now you can go and see Millie.